Welcome back, heroes. I'm here today to show you how to go from zero to hero in the Spire of the Watcher dungeon. Today, I'll be showing you tips and tricks for soloing the Spire of the Watcher dungeon for your Guardian rank 11 Paragon. Can we do it flawlessly as well? Well, wait until the end to find out. If this video helps you out, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and dropping a comment down below. If you'd be interested in an in-depth encounter-specific how-to flawless video, please let me know in the comments section. With all that out of the way, let's jump into it. Today we'll be using Loreley's Splendor Helmet on Solar Titan. Weapons I will be using throughout the video are talked about in each section, but I will be rotating between the Succession Sniper, Witherhoard GL, Funnel Web, Callus Mini Tool, Thunderlord, and Palmyra B. Note that I'm using the Callus Mini Tool to start this dungeon to show our fellow hero legit how the gun works, since he doesn't have one right now. Normally, I would just use Funnel Web because oh so sweet. Now, in this first area here, I'll be using Succession Sniper Rifle from Deepstone Crypt Raid, Callus Mini Tool, and the Thunderlord. Keynote for this area is that adds will group up, so I like the Thunderlord to kill groups more efficiently. Since I'm pretty experienced in this dungeon though, I typically just run the mechanic and don't pay too much attention to the enemies. Also, another side note, use the rooms available for cover from the Cyclops that are positioned around the ridges at the top. You can also use the Sniper or the Thunderlord to get quick kills on these if they're bothering you. Now, we're going to connect all arc conduits by following the cords. In this area, I want to make note that audio cues are big in this area, so that you can hear when the Cyclops are launching their attacks or when supplicants are in the area. And as these are the two most dangerous enemies that you have here, you want to make sure to be aware of their presence. I would also suggest running solar and void resists on your chest armor in this area. I also like to stay on the move in this section so that I'm not a free target for the Cyclops or for the supplicants. Now, as we wrap this up, we will see that the 4 connections have been made. The floor doors opened up, and we carefully slide down. Please, I do suggest a slight hop toward the end of the ramp so you don't slam into the wall. Now, this is our jumping puzzle area. We're going to navigate through here. You can take this a bit slower than I do and take the time to kill the adds. Again, I am very used to running through this jumping puzzle, so I typically don't kill very much, and with the resist mods and a high resilience, I am able to basically take any damage that does come my way. However, for the most part, because I'm always on the move, I tend to take less damage as well. So we're going to run through here and find our way on the other side of this pillar to find our first lift, which will give us access to the next area. This area, as I like to call it, the climb. Note for here that if you are quick enough, you only need to get the first buff here and won't actually need to worry about picking off any more Minotaurs and picking up any buffs. We're going to start back here on this Minotaur, grab our buff, and now we are going to yet again connect these arc conduits Now this is floor 1 out of 3, and as you can see from the starting point, we'll move to another side of the tower in order to activate the last one, which will activate our lift so that we can get to the next level. Now, as you see in this room, there's the Minotaur in there. However, as I mentioned, if you are quick enough, you will not need to get another buff. Each time you shoot an arc conduit, it will give you 5 additional seconds onto your buff timer. Now, running as a team, I will find that sometimes we may need to refresh those buffs, as I may not get every single arc conduit. However, running solo and shooting them all, I find myself very easily staying just off of one buff. But it is important to make note of where these Minotaurs are, so that if you do need to refresh that buff, you can go back, refresh your buff, and continue running the chain. Now here you can see I start the second one and just about finish the first one. However, since both of the final arc conduits are in the same area, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot them at the same time at the end. So I'll complete this out. I'm going to head down here and complete our climb. Now, at the top of the tower, we're going to find our first boss, Akulus. A breakdown of this encounter is to get the buff from the Minotaur, connect the 4 platforms with electricity, and the last platform that you do will become your DPS platform. We're going to rinse and repeat that for victory. Now, my loadout here is going to be Succession, Funnel Web, and Thunderlord. I like Funnel Web with the artifact perk Bricks from Beyond. This allows my Funnel Web versus the Minotaurs to really help generate that Thunderlord ammo for me. A Succession will be used to clear the Harpies from the air to prevent flinch during DPS, and as a secondary DPS option if my Thunderlord is low on ammo. Thunderlord, it's all for boss DPS. Now this loadout, not accounting for weapon surge mods on the boot armor, should present you a crispy 7 to 8 DPS rotation clear. How I do this encounter is to run all of the connections until the last one, and then clear the Harpies in the air and any adds that are on my damage platform so that they don't interrupt my damage phase. I suggest running the same order of arc conduits every time so that you create the muscle memory and don't get lost in what needs to be done still. Once you activate the last conduit, we're going to wait for the boss to approach, clear the eyes around his fins, and then follow the boss retreat during damage. Note that on my first run here, I forgot to switch to Void Reloader when I swapped to the Funnel Web, so I did that between damage phases. Then the second and third damage runs were scuffed because I fell as I was following the boss. I also did not play into my surges and forgot to add my heavy ammo finder on my helmet. Well, you know what? My clear in this video goes as seen on screen. First damage phase, it did enough damage to finish in 7 more damage phases, so 8 total. Second and third damage phases, I was still on track to finish in a total of 8 damage rotations. However, during the 4th and the 5th damage phases, the lost damage that I had earlier on, unfortunately, it accumulated to me now needing 9 damage rotations to complete. The 6th and 7th damage phases got me back on track to complete in 8 damage rotations, and that's exactly what we do here, is clear the boss in the 8th damage phase. I'll let that play out, and then we're heading into the descent. As we can see there, being able to use the Thunderlord all the way through the damage phase allowed for some big damage numbers and allowed us to really get back on track. Again, major issue that I had here in finding heavy ammo was that I unfortunately did not have my heavy ammo finder on my helmet, so was able to correct that going forward. We can see here on the 8th run, I do run out of the Thunderlord ammo, retreat back to my succession, and there we go. Now, on the descent, it is time to travel down. I do head down until I reach this platform, and then I use this area to sniper the hobgoblins to create a safer area for me to be able to shoot the arc conduits in this room. Now, after this room, we are going to be met with the fan room. And then back to another arc conduit room and back to another fan room. I do like to follow the blades of the fan so that I make sure not to die while doing this. Now, in this room here, we'll face off against a Hydra in the middle and some red bars around the sides. We're going to locate the Minotaur after the Hydra kill, get the buff, and shoot the 5 conduits to open the floor door to the next level. The bottom floor is our final boss, Persis. In this encounter, I'm going to be running Wither Horde for the passive DPS and auto-reloading with the Catalyst. I'm using Funnel Web because, so good, but also because of generating heavy ammo on the Minotaurs with Bricks from Beyond, Artifact perk, and creating Orbs of Power off the Minotaurs with the Shatter Orbs Artifact perk. My heavy is the Palmyra B for the Explosive Light and auto-reloading. Damage phases for me should be Wither Horde, Grenade, Rocket, Super, Grenade while in Super, Rocket when the Super ends, Wither Horde, Funnel Web, repeat until the boss's shields have come back up. I do have some scuff damage phases, learning the rotation and what works best. But now, as you saw in the beginning of the encounter, I ran straight into the back room as this will be a safe area to kill the Hydras from, since no ads will spawn in this room until we open the middle door. Kill the Minotaur, get the buff, shoot the interior 5 conduits to open the middle door, watch out for supplicants, and be aware of where the boss is. Audio cues, again, can be really big for you understanding how to do this safely. I do suggest also solar and arc resist mods in this encounter. I'm sorry, not arc. Correction, void. Solar and void resist mods should be used in this area. Void will come from the Minotaurs as well as the boss, and solar you'll be taking from the goblins and potentially supplicants. So after you open the middle door, you will need to run the 2 cables of electricity from the front room to the back room. And just note that after completing both cables, you'll need to return to the front room to close the middle door by shooting the interior conduits again. Once that middle door opens up again, it's damage phase. And I will go ahead and drop my damage phases on the screen here for everyone to see. So my first damage phase was very poor damage, and like if I duplicated that every time, I would have needed 9 to 10 damage rotations just to get the clear on this boss. Second damage, I got way more in, and that decreased the need of damage rotations down to like 8, maybe 9. The third damage phase, again, was really poor, and it really kind of kept me in that 8 to 9 damage rotation needed. Potentially, I would have even needed a 10th if I kept doing damage at that rate. However, my 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th damage phases, they were just great. So they actually decreased the rotations that I needed down to 8. So we'll go ahead and see those damage phases play out on screen. You can kind of match them up with the bars that you see at the top of the video. After each damage phase, you actually see me going toward the left. That's because immediately as soon as the boss raises their shields back up, I run straight into the back room. Yet again, always using that back room as my safe spot, because as long as that middle door is locked, no adds will spawn back there. And there it is, Solo Clear, Solar Titan, Loreley Splendor. And as we go ahead and watch everything, go ahead and go on the bottom, we can see, there it is. That's a flawless run. I'll run through the build on the screen for y'all. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you get an easy solo Spire of the Watcher clear so that you can get your Paragon Guardian rank. Extra hopes that this helps you get a flawless run as well for that sweet emblem and triumph. If you like this type of content and want to see more spicy Destiny 2 content, please subscribe to the channel. Check out the other heroic videos. That's it from me today. Stay heroic and be easy. Peace.